Hey everybody, happy 2026. Back from a nice extended Christmas and New Year break with the family. Here outside the gym. I got here early because I did a kid drop off at school, and so I have a little bit of time to do my Tuesday video right now. Unfortunately, this week I have some sad news to share and talk about. Our parish pastor, Father Michael Troha, died very unexpectedly over the weekend. And, he was a very important person in my family's life, and probably hundreds, if not thousands, of families would say the same thing. He was the pastor at our church, Immaculate Conception in Willoughby, and for the last couple of years, he also has been doing double duty at Mount Carmel in Wycliffe, a few miles down the road. And so, just in the terms of the sheer amount of work he was doing, leading both parishes, it's a huge loss for a lot of people. But personally, I knew him pretty well, as well as maybe any priest I've ever known. He's just a really, really good guy. Great sense of humor, very sharp, but not too serious about himself. Very traditional in terms of how he felt about the church and all that, but not judgmental or closed-minded to people. He was somebody that kind of had like a gruff exterior, but was really a kind and caring person. He did a lot of things for me and my family behind closed doors that I'll never forget. When my oldest switched schools after a couple years, and the parish council at our church, it's pretty normal for anybody to get a parish scholarship, a stipend from the church to support you putting your kid in the Catholic school. But the problem was we switched to a different school that wasn't linked with our parish. And from what I understand, the parish council was against us continuing to receive that stipend because we weren't going to the right school. And Father Troha, stood up and said, no, they're getting it. They're an important, member of the parish, or, we're very involved. We don't donate a lot of money, but we were very involved, which he always appreciated. And it's another thing that was cool about Father Troha. You didn't have to be a big time donor. He was all about stewardship. Donating your time to him was just as important as donating money. So anyway, he stood up to the parish council, and we continued to receive our parish scholarship, which made it possible for my kid to be in the school that he loves. When I started my own law firm, he was, very actively passing my information around. He allowed me to come speak to the church about estate planning. He worked to get me several clients, which was instrumental in getting going my first year. He would schedule things for our family special. We had a baptism where my wife's whole family was coming to town, and he took time, I can't remember, it was a couple years ago, but it was either the Wednesday before Thanksgiving or the Friday after Thanksgiving to hold, usually they do baptisms after regular masses, and he did it for us, just a special thing for our family, so that my wife, and my in-laws are longtime parishioners at Immaculate Conception, much longer than I was. And so he did it so that, their whole family could be together at the baptism, which was very special to me and my mother-in-law and father-in-law. And just little things you wouldn't know because, he did our wedding, and I was very nervous. For some reason, there was a rash of videos going around about passing out, grooms passing out on the altar. I've never passed out once in my life, but I was watching these stupid videos and so nervous. And, he slid me a bottle of water to keep under my chair on the altar and said, just take a sip of this if you're starting to feel nervous. So, on the one hand, like I said, he was very strict and traditional about church things, but on the other hand, he was just a kind and caring person who would, give you a bottle of water if you're feeling nervous. So I'm sure there's, hundreds of people who have more stories of Father Troha and knew him better than I did. I've actually been friends with his niece for 30 years. So my thoughts and prayers go out to his family and the people who knew him very well. But It's a great loss for everybody. He's a great role model for me, and it's a tough way to start the year, but I know a lot of people will, carry on his legacy. Talk to you later.